walking. Those promises I didn't keep, they haunt me still. Oh, I call her up, she slams it down. She says it's no use talking. She says I should forget her now, but I know I never will. I'm on a one-way ticket out of here, and though it says I'm freedom bound, I may be losing my mind, 'cause every station sign still tells me I'm down in Heartbreak Town. In Heartbreak Town. Been going round and round, it seems. This train is going nowhere. I've seen these signs for broken dreams 100 times before. No, I can't reach the point of no return. It must be out there somewhere, but that's a bridge I can't seem to burn. Though she don't care no more, I'm on a one-way ticket out of here, and though it says I'm freedom bound, I may be losing my mind, 'cause every station sign still tells me I'm down in Heartbreak Town. In Heartbreak Town. I'm on a one-way ticket out of here, and though it says I'm freedom bound, I may be losing my mind, 'cause every station sign still tells me I'm down in Heartbreak Town. In Heartbreak Town. In Heartbreak Town.
Looking at the world through the wide-angle lens. It's The Broader View with Hay-Z and Belle Salisbury on the Hay-Z Radio Network. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to The Broader View, and I am your host, Hay-Z, and with me is Belle Salisbury. And joining us is one of my, I keep saying this, one of my favorite people, but he really is one of my favorite people. I've got Mr. Bo Walton, who was born in a little village in Meriden in Herefordshire. I can never pronounce your UK countries, your villages. At the age of 5 or 6, he began listening to his parents' albums, Elvis, Eddie Cochran, Buddy Holly, Bill Fury, and Jerry Lee. He formed his own performing band when he was 14, mainly pop rock covers, but every now and then dropping in an Elvis or a Cochran track, and it was quite obvious how much that style of music had influenced him. Bo started writing songs, accompanying himself on guitar, and one fateful day met ex-Rockpile bassist John David. John recognized Bo's vocal talents immediately, and the two set out writing and recording their material. Their material was influenced by the music John has played with Dave Edmunds and the songs Bo has grown up with in these albums. Bo, welcome to the show.
Hey, Z, thank you very much for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm glad you're here that we woke you up at 1:30 in the morning.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
But you're a musician. You're used to those early mornings.
It's rock and roll, yeah, absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
I didn't know whether to stay up through the night or whether to just go and grab a few hours. So I went to grab a few hours, and then, yeah, it's nice. I was quite cozy, but here I am. It's better with you.
There you go. There you go. So you are, sir, on a whole new venture that I am absolutely thrilled about.
You and me both. It's a really good time at the moment for me. I'm really excited with everything that's happening around me. So it's very cool. Yeah, we set up our own little record label at the end of last year to put our music out, which is Jump Jack Records, and I couldn't be happier. Things are really cool. We're in full control of everything that's going on, and it's just nice. It gives you a whole new lease on life, I think, Z. So it's cool.
It is, and it's, when you say you take control of everything, you get to put the words the way you want them, you get to fill the music the way you want it, you get to produce it the way you want it, and the outcome is the way you want it.
Exactly that. You're in control of your own destiny, and I believe that if you want things to happen in a particular way, then you've got to be the one calling the shots, and that's kind of a realization that I had sort of towards the end of last year, and Jump Jack Records was formed out of that, basically. So we just, I wanted to know everything that was happening. I wanted to know what was costing what, and what was, what money was coming in and what money was going out. I just need to be in control of all of that to have a broader view of everything that's going on. So that's, as I said, that was basically the grounds for forming Jump Jack Records. And exciting times ahead. We got the new single coming out at the end of this month. We've got another single planned for May time, and an album and a third single coming out at the end of the year. So things are really, really cool at the moment.
And that's one thing I know about you, is that you just never stop. I mean,
no, certainly not with the music making. Things. I think if you sort of stand still for too long, then the world catches up with you, and it's nice to stay one step ahead a little bit, I think. And that's the way that I'm sort of dealing with things at the moment. I want to make the album right. I've got the band together now. The band is cooking along quite nicely. So even though I'm not performing live right now, it's we're still writing the music, and the band is with me every step of the way. So so who knows? Today one thing, tomorrow something else, but always with music at the heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you started out, as I said in your bio, you started out very, very young, performing and writing music. Do you remember the first thing you wrote?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first song that I wrote when I was at school, which wasn't very good. It was everything that I wrote pretty much when I was at school was based upon rock and roll songs of one form or another. It was usually an Elvis song or a Dion song or something. So they're always very cheesy but the first song that I ever wrote sort of professionally, if you like, was Hey Mr. Knight, the one you started with just now.
I love Hey Mr. Knight.
Thank you very much. It's a song that I wrote with John David, but the idea was mine originally, and I took it to the studio with John, and John liked the idea. It was originally called I Ask a Favor of the Night, and John said, I think it's nice if you personify it almost like you're talking to the night as your confidant, as your sort of your only friend in the darkness, if you like, and that's where it came from. Yeah, so it was, and then obviously Mark Knopfler picked up on it and played guitar on that particular track, which for me, as my very first outing, if you like, in writing a song, to have the legend that is Mark Knopfler play guitar on it, it was a pretty cool thing for us. Yeah.
When you write music, I always ask all my musician friends this: does the melody come into your head, or do the words come into your head first?
I'm very much a lyricist. Although I'm a guitarist, I'm not a great guitarist. I'm good enough to get by, if you like. But I will often just write the lyrics and then write the melody in my head, and then sit down with the guitar and try and work those chords out that accompany that particular melody. But that's where John David comes in as a co-writer that I work very closely with as well, as well as other people. And we can. It's always nice to have somebody to sort of bat the ideas around with, and it may start one way and end another way completely. But I think that's the beauty of creating something. It's never really set in stone until it's down on tape, and even then you could change it on the night of a performance.
Sure.
You could just mix it up a little bit, and I think that's the beauty of writing songs. Anyway, they're never set in stone.
Right. True. Now that brings up another question: when you're performing the songs live, and you say you can change them up, do your fans mind you changing up the words or the formatting of the song when it's live? Or do they prefer you to stick to the absolute original note by note?
That's a good one, because I think you can never stray too far away from it. I think you have to keep the bones of it pretty much the same. But the great thing, I like It Like That, for example, which is a track from the album which came out on a single last year. It's a great one for crowd participation because it's got the answer line. It's the whole sort of basis of the song is based around that line, "Don't stop, baby, 'cause I like it like that." So you sing the line, and you can get the crowd singing along with you as well, which is really, really cool. So I think, when I say you can change it up, I think there is a margin that you can sort of stretch it to before they're baying for blood. Not literally, of course.
I know. But when you look at your music, what do you think your genre of music is?
Well, I think I've always seen it. This is a tough one as well because I've always seen it as sort of rock and roll country. And I think the thing is, it's so hard to please both camps at the same time. And I love both types of music, rock and roll and country music. And I think the country music fans will listen to the rock and roll ones, and it's not really their cup of tea because I think they have clear-cut margins and ideas as to how their music sounds, and the same with the rock and roll fans. So it's really hard to balance that up, I think. And that's what we tried to do with the first album. And I think you have to stay true. And it's something that, until you've tried it out, I don't think you can actually fully appreciate it. But I think the deal is, with the next album, you'll find it's going to be a lot more rock and roll because of that very reason. It's hard to please both camps with a mix of the two. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the next album you'll see is going to be more rock and roll. But for me, I love them both. It's just a case of trying to please everybody with one album. I don't think you'll ever win that way.
I know. Did they try to get you to, the people that were handling you, so to speak, did they try to get you to stick in one genre of music rather than going from the rock to the country or the rockabilly sound?
I think sort of more with radio stations. I think if it's a rock and roll show, then obviously they will play the rock and roll songs. If it's a country show, they'll play the country songs. And if it's sort of a mainstream sort of daytime breakfast show or something, then they will play anything that's nice and middle of the road and easy listening. So I think if you stay true to yourself, you'll probably do better off than if you try to please everybody that's going to be buying your records. And it's nice if you can tailor it a little bit towards sort of take off a little bit of the rock and roll edge and a little bit of the country edge to make it more middle of the road. Then I think you're kind of moving away from what you set out to start doing. You know what I mean? So to me, if I'm with the second album, with the second single, Lonely Weekend, it's certainly more rocking and sort of rock edged than country. And I think that's the way I'm just going to have to play it from here on in.
I think so. I think you got it. I think you've got the idea of who you are and what your music represents. And what I think is cool too is that you don't stray from who you are. You don't try and go and do standards, so to speak. You stick to your core, and your music represents that. Did I lose everybody?
You did. You did.
I did. Hold on. We got to get Bo back. Yeah. Welcome to Ice Storms. Huh. It got awfully quiet. So while we get Bo back, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and play his Lonely Weekend. So don't go away. We'll be right back on the Broader View on the Hazy Radio Network.